Imagine a world where the human mind begins as a blank slate. No built-in ideas, no pre-written truth, just pure potential. This is the revolutionary starting point of John Locke, one of the most influential philosophers of the modern era. Locke, a 17th century English thinker, is often called the father of empiricism. Empiricism is the philosophical view that all knowledge comes from experience. In contrast to rationalist philosophers who believe that certain ideas are innate, present in the mind from birth, Locke argued that the mind starts empty and it's gradually filled through interaction with the world. He famously described the mind as a tabula rasa or blank slate. According to him, everything we know, our thought, belief, and understanding originate from experience. This simple yet powerful idea challenged centuries of philosophical tradition and laid the foundation for modern psychology and epistemology. To understand Locke's philosophy, we must first understand what he meant by ideas. For Locke, ideas are the basic unit of thought, the content of the mind. Everything we think about, perceive, or imagine is an idea. Locke divides ideas into two main sources. First, ideas of sensation. The ideas come from our external experience, what we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. For example, the redness of an apple, the warmth of fire, or the sound of music. These ideas enter the mind through the senses. Second, ideas of reflection. These ideas come from internal experience, our own mental operation. Thinking, doubting, believing, reasoning, and willing are all sources of reflection. In other words, the mind, observing itself, produces these ideas. From these two sources, Locke further classifies ideas into simple ideas and complex ideas. Simple ideas are basic, indivisible ideas that the mind passively receives. For instance, a specific color, a taste, or a sensation of heat. The mind cannot create or destroy these. It simply receives them. Complex ideas are formed by the mind actively combining simple ideas. For example, the ideas of an apple combines color, shape, taste, and structure. The mind has the power to combine, compare, and abstract these ideas. Locke further divides complex ideas into three kinds. Modes. Ideas that depend on substance like beauty or number. Substance. Things we believe exist independently like a tree or a human. Relation. Connection between ideas like cause and effect. One of Locke's most important contributions is his strong rejection of the theory of innate ideas. The belief that certain ideas are present in the mind from birth. Locke challenged this view with several arguments. First, lack of universal agreement. If ideas are truly innate, everyone including children and people from all cultures would agree on them. But this is not the case. Concepts like God, morality, or logical principle are not universally understood or accepted. Second, absence in children and idiots. Locke argued that if ideas are innate, they should be present even in children or those with limited intellectual capacity. However, such individuals do not show awareness of this supposed innate principle. Third, experience explains everything. Locke insists that all ideas can be traced back to experience, either sensation or reflection. There is no need to assume the existence of innate ideas when experience sufficiently explain how knowledge arises. Fourth, confusion between innate capacity and innate ideas. Locke make an important distinction. Human may have the capacity to acquire knowledge, but this does not mean the knowledge itself is innate. Just because we can learn something easily does not mean we are born knowing it. Through this argument, Locke firmly established empiricism as a powerful alternative to rationalism. Locke's discussion of substance is both fascinating and complex. When we observe objects in the world, we perceive qualities such as color, shape, texture, and motion. But we tend to assume that these qualities belong to something, some underlying thing that support them. This unknown support is what Locke calls substance. For example, when we think of a golden ring, we perceive its yellowness, hardness, and weight. But we also assume there is something that holds these qualities together. This something is substance. However, Locke admits something surprising. We do not actually know what substance is. He famously described it as something I know, not what. This means that substance is a necessary assumption, but it is ultimately unknowable in itself. Locke also distinguishes between material substance, the physical object in the external world, like trees, stone, and bodies. Spiritual substance, the mind or soul, which think, perceive, and will. Even though we assume both types exist, we cannot directly know their true nature. We only know their qualities and effect. This framework shows Locke's causation approach. He ground knowledge in experience but also recognized the limit of human understanding. Now let's move to one of Locke's most influential ideas, the distinction between primary and secondary qualities. Locke asks a simple but powerful question. Are the qualities we perceive actually in the object themselves, or are they produced in our mind? He answers by dividing qualities into two types. Primary qualities. Primary qualities are those that truly exist in the object itself, independent of any observer. These include solidity, extension or size, shape, motion or rest, number. For example, a ball has a definite shape and size, whether anyone is observing it or not. These qualities are inseparable from the object. Even if we divide the object into smaller parts, these qualities remain. Secondary qualities. Secondary qualities, on the other hand, do not actually exist in the object as we perceive them. Instead, they are power in the object to produce sensation in our mind. These include color, sound, taste, smell. For instance, the redness of an apple is not truly in the apple itself. Rather, the apple has the power to produce the sensation of red in our mind through the interaction of its primary qualities with our senses. Key difference. Primary qualities are objective. They exist in the world. Secondary qualities are subjective. They exist in the mind. This distinction is crucial because it shows that our perception of reality is partly shaped by our senses, not just the external world. Locke defines knowledge in a very precise way. According to him, knowledge is the perception of the agreement or disagreement between ideas. In simple terms, to know something is to see how ideas related to each other. For example, recognizing that white is not black is perceiving disagreement. Understanding that 2 plus 2 equal 4 is perceiving agreement. Locke emphasized that knowledge does not directly deal with the external world. Instead, it deals with ideas in the mind. We do not perceive objects directly. We perceive our ideas of those objects. He also identified different types of agreement or disagreement, identity and diversity. One thing is itself different from other. Relation, connection between ideas, coexistence, qualities existing together in a thing, real existence, whether something actually exists. However, Locke also admits that human knowledge is limited, since we only know ideas and not think in themselves. Our certainty about the external world is not absolute. Locke further classifies knowledge into three levels based on the degree or certainty. Intuitive knowledge. This is the highest and most certain form of knowledge. It occurs when the mind immediately perceives the agreement or disagreement between ideas without any intermediate step. For example, knowing that a circle is not a square, understanding that 1 is not 2, this type of knowledge is clear, direct and undeniable. Demonstrative knowledge. This is the second level of knowledge. It involves reasoning through a series of steps to arrive at a conclusion. For example, mathematical proof, logical argument. Here, the mind does not see the truth immediately. Instead, it moves step by step, connecting ideas until the agreement becomes clear. Although it is certain, it is less immediate than intuitive knowledge and depends on correct reasoning. Third, sensitive knowledge. This is the lowest grade of knowledge and relates to the existence of external objects. For example, seeing a tree, feeling heat from fire. This knowledge comes through the senses. Locke considers its knowledge, but it's less certain than the other two because it depends on sensory experience, which can sometimes be misleading. John Locke's philosophy reshaped our understanding of the human mind and knowledge. He began by rejecting innate ideas and established that all knowledge comes from experience. He carefully analyzed how ideas are formed, how they are combined, and how they related to reality. Through his distinction between primary and secondary qualities, he showed that not everything we perceive reflects the world as it truly is. Some aspects are shaped by our minds. His theory of knowledge shifted the focus from the external world to the internal world of ideas, emphasizing that knowledge is about understanding relationship between these ideas. And finally, by classifying knowledge into intuitive, demonstrative, and sensitive form, Locke highlights both the power and the imitation of human understanding. In the end, Locke presents a balanced view. Humans are capable of knowledge, but their knowledge is grounded in experience and bounded by the limits of perception. If you are still watching, I hope you are finding this content useful. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel and share your thought in the comment. Your support motivates me to create even more content like this.